Hey everyone, welcome to the Thinking Physio podcast episode. I'm not exactly sure which one. I think we are somewhere in like the 15s or the 16s. And on this episode, my guest today is Rupak Chandrukar. He's a physiotherapy student who is studying in India, and he is in his third year right now. And I decided to do a different kind of a podcast because I've been getting very similar questions, which I've answered over and over again to a lot of people. But I do understand that sometimes I have new followers coming in, and so they ask me the same questions again because they haven't seen the previous content. So I thought, why not like engage with somebody who's a physiotherapy student and try and answer these questions all over again. And there are certain things that cannot be discussed in a messaging format. So a lot of people message me. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to just sit with somebody who's going through physiotherapy college and they have certain questions about working abroad, and I'm happy to answer those in a long format where I can easily communicate without like having to write text and stuff. Apart from that, the other thing, the reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast is because I think you're doing certain things that really caught my eye, which is basically you are working out like in your college days. It's something I hold, like I wish I did more when I was in college, but I really understood the benefits of it after I started working. So I found that really interesting because not a lot of physiotherapy students, at least in India, do that, but you're doing it, so that's a good start.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
anyways, that's a bit of your intro. But welcome to the podcast, Rupak.
yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm completely fine.
Super, excellent. Okay, so let's start with just give us a little bit of an idea of like what college you are from, where are you studying, stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I belong from Maharashtra. Okay, from Nasik, and my college name is Dr. M.S. Gosavi College of Physiotherapy and Healthcare. Yes, healthcare management.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
So
it's
currently
interesting.
in
I
third
used to
year.
be in Nasik. I think I had spoken to you on text, right? I did my 10th, 11th, and 12th from Devlali. So, um,
Oh, okay, Deolali. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I know this. Yeah.
my dad was in the army, and as you know, Devlali is a big military station. So,
Yeah,
I have fond memories of that place. Um,
that's
and
great.
yeah, it was fun time. So, how did you decide? How did you decide to go into physio? Like, what was the journey over there?
Okay, so after 10th, I was completely confused. In 11th standard, I opted for PCMB. Okay. Like I was confused. Like I should go in defense services or medical field. So I appeared for NDA exam, NDA. Yeah. So it wasn't my really like focus towards NDA. Then I started working out. Okay. So after working out, I did my certifications. Like it was really interesting, like learning human body, like how it works, what are the movements of human body, which muscles are activated, like basic things. So I did my certification from EQF or level 4, European Qualifications of Framework. Then I got certified in my 12th, I guess. It was during COVID. Then I thought, like, which is the similar field which like which is similar to this
The exercise and
workouts
working out.
and all nutrition, exercise, science, everything. Then I saw like people are uploading videos on YouTube, like physiotherapy is good thing. It is a unique field and all. So I opted for physiotherapy.
I see. I see. Yeah. So what an
Yeah.
interesting story because I think we share stories like that. So I also appeared for the ND exam, but I was only PCB. I didn't have maths,
Oh,
and as you
PCB.
know, like at least when I appeared for ND, I appeared in 2004. So at that time, I don't know if it's the same, but 90% of like that course was maths, and everything else was like the other stuff. And I was really bad at
Yeah,
maths,
yeah.
so I didn't pass my ND exam, but I only gave one attempt because it was just not my thing. And plus, my dad was in a very technical arm. So if I wanted to go into the technical arm,
Okay.
like that would mean more physics, more maths. And I was like, that was not really my thing. So really
Yeah,
interesting.
same goes with me.
Ah,
Absolutely.
but you took
Yeah.
PCMB, right? You took maths as well in your 11th, 12th?
Yeah, in 11th, I took PCMB, then I dropped out maths in 12th standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Okay. And so then, when you were applying for colleges, did you think of applying for like, you know, colleges only in Nasik, only in Maharashtra? Did you apply for like places outside?
No, the reason I opted only for Nasik because I can like basically live at my home, then focus on some skill building programs, then less expenses. This is also a thing because there are so many students who came from different states or districts. So there are so many expenses, right?
Right.
So yeah, we like I can handle that expenses. That was one reason I opted for Nasik only, like within the city colleges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many colleges are there in Nasik? I think मेरे हिसाब से दो तीन है ना वहाँ पे.
Yes, 3 to 4 colleges.
So how has your journey so far been with your college experience? You know, I think you're in third year now. Like, I'm just curious, what was your first? What was? Let's break it down. Let's start with first year. What was first year like?
So basically, first year was really hectic and so much confusing stuff. Okay. So there is anatomy, physiology, biochemistry,
Yeah,
kinesiotherapy,
yeah.
including kinesiology. Both are same subject. Then
Okay,
in second year, it is divided into two subjects. And then electrotherapy. These five subjects are there in first year. So it was really confusing. Anatomy was really like confusing and really vast because after 12th there are so many books, right? Like Sembulingam, we use it for physiology and all. So it was like very tiring, in first year.
right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
First year, it's like being thrown into the fire. I don't know, like, just a quick anecdote about my experience. So when I first joined first year, uh,
Hmm.
we basically the MBBS classes would start 3 months prior to when we would start, right? So like
Yeah.
they started, I think somewhere around like June, end of May, June. Like I'm from DY Patil Pune, so they started
Oh,
in
DY Patil.
yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
did my so they had started their anatomy classes already, and we joined in like September. So that's roughly around when we joined. I think 28th September was when I went left home and went to college. And so
Okay.
what is interesting is our first anatomy class. Like at that time, our college was not as established as it is now. We were only the fourth batch of our college. So like
Okay.
over the years, DY Patil is now definitely totally different from when I had entered. It was still a good college, but anyway, so we were sent into our anatomy class. The first time we went to our anatomy class, um,
Mm-hmm.
these MBBS students had already done 3 months. So I still remember,
Oh,
like, as soon as we entered the class, like, ideally, what your first class should be like, like the anatomical figure. This is like, the axis, planes,
yeah.
frontals, sagittals,
Basic.
and all that,
Yeah.
right? And then they talk
Yeah.
about like planes and voral, dorsal, and all those like different things and motions, flexion, etc. No, we didn't have any of
Mm-hmm.
that. When we entered, we were already in head neck phase. This teacher was explaining the MBBS students something like I can't even what was it? I always remembered it, but anyways, I forget. It was something about head and neck phase, and they were using all these words as anastomosis and this and that, and we didn't understand
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was like a summary of what my first year felt like too. Like I felt like you were just picked up and dropped into this thing, and they are like these huge
Mm-hmm.
books, Sembulingam and all the same books that we had. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was definitely
Exactly.
challenging. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like how
how
many students were there
so
in one
we were
batch?
about 28 students, and I think by the end of
28.
first year, four students had dropped out. So we ended up being like 24 students. Yeah.
Same here. Like 30. We are 30, right?
You guys are 30. And is it also same that you are like the guys are the minority, girls are in majority in the
Yeah,
class?
yeah, absolutely. We are only like four boys right now. Before we were nine boys. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had the same thing. So in that sense, nothing has changed much. Okay, so
No, it's
and
same.
what about like did you guys start to go to the OPD in first year too, or there was no OPD?
No, I don't know about other colleges. They have more exposure because our college is new college. Okay.
Okay,
The OPD exposure from our college started from second year. They invented OPD like
okay.
in second year. They constructed OPD in second year.
Oh, okay.
In other colleges, they had hospitals and all, everything.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you guys are not attached to a hospital, are you?
No, we are attached to hospital, but from third year.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I think one of the advantages we had with DY Patil was we have like we had a big hospital, like it was a medical college, as you know. So we had no dearth of
Yeah.
patients. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I think there's only so much you can learn in first year. Like you have all this theoretical stuff you have to study.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no time
It,
to
it
really
was
understand.
like so much stressful that so much of tension in life, so much of stress. But that's what make us tough, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like the way you think that way. Yeah. So so then how was second year?
Second year was also confusing. First year was confusing. Like every year is confusing in starting. Initially, it's really confusing, but after that, we can cope up with it. The basic concepts of like kinesiology, it was really confusing. How to study patho, micro, then pharmac drugs was like really volatile, you know. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Right, right. Yeah.
Electrotherapy was like same in first and second year, just some different parts were added, like FUP, some different topics, FUP and all different topics. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like honestly, second year there's a little more dive into like some part, but do you have like pharmacology and like did you say pharmacology too?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pharmac and everything, right?
Pharmacology. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy because in second year there are a lot of subjects that like microbiology, like what am I going to do that? Why am I going to use this? So
yeah.
that's true. I think like second year has some of the subjects that have, in my opinion, I think have the least to do with our physiotherapy coursework, but I think they just want
Exactly.
us to be
Yes.
well-rounded students. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But third year is really amazing. Like surgery, medicine part, everything is amazing in third year.
yeah, yeah. So that's what yeah, and I feel so like third year you start to now slowly, go into the field where you get to see a surgical posting, you see orthopedics, you see. Are you posted also in like your chest ward and your cardio? Oh, sorry, you are. So you have started OPD now, right?
Yeah, yeah. We have started from second year. The OPD has been started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
Hospital
inpatient?
postings. Yeah. Inpatients is OPD. We have
Okay.
like 3 to 4 sections:
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
MSK, then cardio and neuro
Okay.
in posting. So every month we have rotations, in posting, then outposting, then outposting, in posting, somewhere like that.
So outposting is you go to a different hospital or something.
Like every hospital is attached to Nasik, like 80% of hospitals.
Okay. But like it's not in your campus. You have to travel to a different place.
Yeah, yeah, we have to travel from vehicle.
Okay. See, for us, it was only during internship when we had to travel. Like we didn't have to travel during like our third year because again, we just had the
Okay.
convenience of being able to go to like our own inpatient and everything. But for our internship, that's when we really had to travel to.
Yeah, internship is hectic. I can see that.
Internship, did you say easy or hectic?
Hectic. It's hectic.
Hectic, yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah, but that's a glimpse of what like real life after that is going to be like. So
Exactly.
correct. And what's your opinion about like final year and stuff right now? Like you see people like, are you asking? You must be talking to your seniors about final year and how that is.
Yeah. Like I didn't really talked about it, like how is
Yeah,
final year and all.
I see.
So I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Final year, I think the way my seniors used to describe it is like somehow survive first year. Second year is going to
Hmm.
be a bit easier. Um,
Yeah.
Third year is hard.
Like kind of vast.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Third year is
Yeah.
hard, but it's still you'll enjoy it. And final year, they used
Yeah.
to explain is how everything will start to tie in together. You'll start to understand things.
Yes, yes. We can
So
connect those points, in final year.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is with in final year, while they say everything starts to tie in together, I think it takes few years of clinical practice and just work experience also to like for everything to come in together and
Exactly.
to be able to understand all those things.
Yeah, yeah. Third year has like many medical subjects, like medicine 1 2, surgery 1 2, then
Yeah,
community medicine. So
yeah,
like it's really deep into medical subjects. So we can like know what's the diagnosis, how to diagnose and all that kind of stuffs.
right.
So like fourth year is like management, like how to do that and all. Like I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not able to describe actually.
Yeah,
Like
no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You're trying to
yeah,
figure out coming up with like a potential diagnosis, clinical impressions, stuff like that. Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And basically, when you finish, like say, and then where is your internship? Is it also in the same places that like the same hospitals that you would be in Nasik?
Yes. Same hospital, in posting and out posting. Like there is, for example, intensive starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
And it ends at 5 p.m.
yeah,
around
kind of
5 p.m.
things.
So half of the day the students will spend their time in hospital,
Yeah,
and half of the time they will spend their time in posting, like
yeah,
OPD or college OPD. Yeah.
right, right. Yeah, that's almost like us as well. So, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. So that sounds
Sure.
pretty similar. First of all, actually, something interesting. My worst night, right? My worst night in my physiotherapy life, like as a college student, was the night of my second year exam where we had uh, pathology and microbiology on the same day. Do you still have that, or has WHS changed that?
Same. 50 marks for pathology and 30 marks for microbiology.
And it's the same day exam, right?
Same day exam, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you. So I remember this very clearly in second year, and because I gave it in 2006 or something, so it's been many years now. But
Oh,
first day was pharmac, and then there was no gap, and then just right away the second day was all night you study for your pathology and microbiology.
oh,
Oh,
that
you
was
don't have it
hectic.
like that.
No, we have one holiday actually.
You have a holiday
The
between.
pattern
Yeah,
has
see, that
changed.
was the
Yeah,
worst for us. Like pharmacology
actually.
is not easy. You study that all night, you study, you come back, you finish your exam, you come back, and then you have that freaking like the pathology book and the microbiology that
Mm-hmm.
you have to study in one night. So I remember some of my friends who had passed the exam, they were telling me, and seniors, they were telling me, it's like, listen, you finish your exam, go home, sleep for 2 hours. So exam would finish by 1, 2 or something. He said, go have your lunch, sleep for
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, get up by like 3:30, and then from 3:30 there was no break. So from 3:30,
Oh,
my friend, I still remember, he said from 3:30 p.m. till 12 a.m., make sure that you finish all your like pathology studies, then take maybe 1 hour.
without any break.
Yeah, and then take maybe half an hour break, and then from like 12 to 5, 6 o'clock, you finish your
Mm-hmm.
microbiology. So
Oh,
yeah, I was like, what? And when do you take a break? It's like in this one night, you don't take a break because in that one night, you have to study about 1100. I mean, you don't study everything you're revising, but it's 1100 pages of two books you have to finish, right? Combined.
exactly. That
Yeah.
Harsh Mohan is like
Oh my
really
God.
vast.
What a nightmare that was.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing about my studying was, I remember, so my friend said, finish your pathology by 12. I finished my
Mm-hmm.
pathology at 5 a.m. And I haven't touched microbiology yet. So when I started
Oh,
studying for micro, no, I had studied it before, but I hadn't revised it before exam.
revised. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I picked up my microbiology at 5 a.m. And then I was studying while I got to the test center. Last minute I'm just reading and just put the book and
Last minute studies. Yeah.
man, what a night. It's good
But
that
we
they gave you
really
holiday.
remember that thing, last minute studies.
I know,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Yeah.
memorable.
So, yeah, those were interesting times.
Mm.
So, Rupak, I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you
Sure.
generally about. So, what is your outlook? You've had like 3 years of physiotherapy education so far now. Like, and what are you seeing in colleges? Log kya bol rahe hain? What are they saying about physiotherapy? Are they saying positive things? Are they saying negative things? Does the outlook look good? What is your general impression about this?
Okay. So starting from city to city,
Yeah,
as I said, Nasik. So it's like developing city. And we talk about Mumbai, Pune. It's completely different scenario. Like it basically depends area to area, city to city, and town to town. There is so much of diversity. So it like I can say the people aren't aware at all about physiotherapy. Still, people lack awareness. But in metropolitan cities, people like they are aware about what is physiotherapy. You know, so a patient comes with the reference to orthopedic or neurologist. That's what I hate actually. Like because there is no problem actually, but people don't have awareness like what is physiotherapy and how physios work. Like they don't know our education, what we study and all, everything. So yeah, they lack awareness somewhere.
So what happens when, like, nowadays when patients are in pain, like I guess, like, are doctors referring their patients to physiotherapy, or are they just saying, here, have this pain medication for whatever knee pain or stuff? Or are they actually sending
Like
people?
I didn't get it. Can you pardon?
So I'm saying, so doctors, right? Like the main referral source
Mm-hmm.
for us in a city like Nasik, where
Mm-hmm.
like you said, people don't have a ton of awareness about physiotherapy. How are patients getting this referral from their doctors when they go see their doctor for knee pain or shoulder pain? Do the doctors send them to physio, or are they like, just have this medication and you'll be okay?
Like it depends. Some doctors send to like from reference, like you can consult this OPD or you can consult this doctor. I won't take the names,
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
So you can refer this doctor or not. And there is one thing like marketing, you know.
Yeah,
So people see the posters and they talk with their relatives. Like for example, if I'm suffering from knee pain
yeah,
and my relative has coming to our OPD,
yeah.
so he will tell like this OPD is really good as compared to this clinic. There is more types of exercises they give in the language, you know. So that's how people come here right now. The current scenario is like this.
Okay, I see. Okay, so there are some referrals coming in, but it's not like patient like this, because there's some old school doctors that I hear that they still won't send their patients. They'll just give them pain medication and say,
Yeah,
you'll be
yeah,
okay. Hopefully that is
malpractices.
changing
Yeah,
a bit now, or not really.
it's really minor, you know.
Okay,
It's not in majority.
okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. And now that like, what about like your seniors and some people who are graduating? What's their take? Like, वो क्या बोलते हैं about physiotherapy कि अच्छी field है, नहीं है, it's you should like do it. Like, did
As
you?
of they are in final year, they obviously says it's really good field, but it's kind of hectic. You
Okay.
know, like I personally think that this field should get more like technical exposure. I mean, like people should study like in 3D. You know, for example, I will give an example. In first year, we study anatomy, right? So it's really like PPT based learning in like lectures, you know. So like professors should show like 3D uh, in 3D. They should show like in
Yeah.
3D. So that's my like personal opinion. So yeah, students can grasp more knowledge and get more into practical things. Like they can learn in third year how to diagnose and all.
So you don't like, you don't do cadavers, like you don't go work on cadavers in first year?
No, no, we work on cadavers, but that's in a practical thing, right? In lectures.
Oh, I see. Okay, like using those 3D apps and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's interesting you said that. I think because you said your college is new, I feel like you're in the same position that I was when I joined my college. My college was new, and we just didn't have the enough technical equipment and stuff at that time. Now I go back to my college. I went back to my college, and I can't believe it. Like the kind of things they have, like they have screens coming down, they have like, PowerPoints and every. We were like the chalk and that kind of class
Mm-hmm.
we used to have. We had some PowerPoints, but now they just have all kinds of stuff they can use to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of this is probably because your college is new. When you become
Yeah,
like,
no, it's been like 4 to 5 years. The college has been started. We are, I guess, third batch. Yeah, third batch.
yeah,
We
yeah.
have
So
PowerPoint. Yeah, but people like professor teaches like with only slide share. You know,
yeah,
PPT presentations,
yeah,
not 3D. They won't use any softwares and all.
right.
Should get like more advanced.
Yeah, 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 that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think even 3 years is like, it sounds it's still relatively new. It's not like too old.
yeah.
For me, like imagine my college took, when I go back now, this is going back almost after 10, 12 years, like, and I see there's so many
Mhm.
changes. So I think part of what is going on there is
Yeah.
like your journey is like my journey. Like when you go back after you graduated, you'll see like what happened to my college. They might be doing all those things. But what's interesting about what you said was it's very, very interesting. You said that your seniors are supportive. A lot of my
Yeah,
seniors,
exactly.
they are, eh? Yeah, like a lot of my seniors were not. They used to tell us, like, there were some seniors who used to tell us, like, you don't, like, mat karo ye field. Isme kuch nahi rakha hai, you know?
Oh.
And look at us, imagine we are in third year and somebody's coming and telling us, he's like, get out of this field, there is no scope and all.
Mhm.
So, not all of them, some people were encouraging also, but a lot of them were not. Um, so it's good to hear, because if, say, you, for example, if you said that that is the case, मेरे भी seniors यही बोल रहे हैं, they're not saying it's a good field or whatever, I would then say that that's not really true.
Mhm.
But that it's good that you have the right guidance and counseling and stuff anyway. So
Exactly. Also, one point I'm gonna share is like our college is new. Okay, so we have like more knowledgeable staff.
yeah,
Okay, like they are graduated from, some are graduated from CGS Medical College and KEM Hospital from Mumbai.
right,
Okay, and different colleges. They are
right.
really like knowledgeable. I have so many friends from different medical colleges. The professors don't take their lectures. They have like less exposure.
Yeah.
Like they don't have communication skills. They are really mentally stressed and all everything. So also staff plays an important role in our life.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is so true. Yeah, staff definitely plays a major role. Yeah, and one of the things that I realized after I graduated, when I was in college, we had some staff which were good, some staff that were like not the best. Um, but the thing is, honestly, it's a young profession. At least when I had joined college in 2004, we were a new, like, it's not like our professors had 20, 30 years of experience. They also had like 4, 5 years of experience, or,
4 5 years.
or
Yeah, yeah,
maybe 10
yeah.
maximum or something like that. Not a lot. So now they have, like, more experience. So I think they have better knowledge. And plus, like, there's now the knowledge sharing is so easy. Like, literally, I feel like we studied in almost a different era when we had to go to a cyber cafe to access, like, phones were just coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were just getting some apps, but we couldn't use this. Like, now you can see Instagram handles and stuff. You can, like, literally do
Yeah,
notes and
yeah.
study
It's
everything.
like more advanced technology.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. For
But
example, like
back then it was not.
you
So
are
I
in.
think, sorry.
Hmm. No, no. Like I was saying that, for example, you are in USA, right?
Yeah,
We have like gadgets. You can share your knowledge. You can make some courses. Like we can attend.
yeah,
So like there is sharing, more sharing
yeah,
between, because there is like technology
yeah.
more prone to technology. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah. So yeah,
that's the
things I
thing.
think in that sense are much better. You can share that information. You can see people from distance learn. We didn't have that, so I think part of this was a lot of our our professors were also slightly inexperienced at that time, because again it was just a new college and stuff. So,
New, yeah.
anyways, that's interesting. So, but overall, it seems like a good trend. And are there debates about council still? Like in your college, do they talk about physiotherapy council and stuff like that?
Like MUHS,
No,
Maharashtra
like,
University of
the
Health.
physiotherapy council, like this is a hot topic which is going on for 20 years. Physiotherapists should have a council. I know there's a OTPT council in Maharashtra, like you have a physiotherapy council. But like, for example, here in Canada and in the US, there is a governing body, a licensing body that gives you a license, right? And you are answerable to them because they've helped protect the interests of the public. So, like in India, there is no, like for example, anybody. The big debate is that anybody can practice. You could go to a small place, do a online course, and start practicing physio, but nobody's
Oh
checking you.
yeah,
And that's the role of
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the roles of the council, apart from other roles like setting standards for our salaries and stuff like that. Do you hear that conversation
Mm-hmm.
in college much or not really?
No, not really in Maharashtra, but I have some friends from Bangalore, you know.
Yeah,
So they does the same thing. Like they are not posted to college OPD or hospitals, so
right.
they just practice in different clinics.
Yeah,
Like it's illegal actually.
yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Yeah, it's good though. Like, I still hear the conversations of, like, a council and stuff, and they are valid. Anyways, we'll not get into that. So, anyways, this is
Yeah,
interesting. I
absolutely.
just wanted to, talk to you and understand, like, where you are as a student and how do you feel. As long as you have like a
Hmm.
nice, and this is what I liked about you. You have a positive outlook towards, like, the future, which is
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
That is good. And quickly tell me about your journey in, like, training, and how did you decide to get into, like, weightlifting, and what kind of exercises? Are you doing more bodybuilding? Are you doing more, like, CrossFit style? Are you doing more powerlifting style? Like, what kind of exercise are you?
Okay, so I will tell about my certification, like
Yeah.
what we studied and like where I am certified from. Like EQF, as I said before, European Qualifications of Framework, level 4. Then in my second year, I did my mini diploma from WUR, Netherlands, Wageningen University and Research Center. It was a course name called Exercise, Nutrition and Sports.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I like learned so many different concepts, like how to implement exercise, how to like give exercise to someone,
Hmm.
like what are the, like it was really advanced, because I did my certifications 3 to 4 years back. The course was really different. Now it's completely different.
Okay.
So I'm not into like bodybuilding and powerlifting, but I changed my workout plans. Like you can say like each month, like I can add different variations in my exercise protocol. The thing I want to share as a BPT student is people should start, or like the students in India should start working out, because it's more biomechanical concept. We can learn more kinesiology in it, because we can learn more different gym exercises, which we implement in our day-to-day life, like gym workouts specifically. For example, we use 10 to 12 exercises in our back workout. Like there are 10 to 12 exercises, but we don't do it. Like we use only 4 to 5 variations. So we can learn how the movement is performed, how much should we lift, like everything, what should be the progression. So it will help a physiotherapy student to get into more biomechanical concept, learn the new concepts, learn new exercises, like
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
For example, like
100%.
we are rowing, dumbbell rows, we are performing. So we can like, we have more like mind muscle connection, during workouts. So we can imagine, oh, so we are rowing, we are activating more rhomboids, like for example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the thing.
100%. And that's one thing I commend you on. Like, when I was in college, I had a friend of mine. At some point, I'll bring him on the podcast too. And by the way, there's an uncanny resemblance. He also kind of looks like you. I'll share his picture with you.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay, sure,
Maharashtrian too.
sure.
He was from Baramati, a good friend of mine, and he was into working out. But I never spent. I came from, like, as you know, I was telling you, I came from a defense background, so I was playing sports and stuff, but not working out. So I was always active. I did many things, but he used to push us, but we didn't really do a lot of workout. We didn't have that exercise culture. And I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a physiotherapist, and doesn't matter which physiotherapy, like, stream you decide to take, any stream you decide to take, like, it will be good. But it's very important to work out. And my perspective, just like yours, is my number one reason why people should work out is because you are entering a field which is an active field. Like, you would be on your feet all day. You're going to see about anywhere from 15 to 25 patients in the setting that you are in, and you need to just have
Exactly.
physical ability or capability to do this. Like, the biggest, I guess, disappointment, not disappointment, that's not the right word, that but something that I see where physiotherapists can get better is as they reach, right, somewhere around, like, say, their if their fitness levels are not that great, as they start to reach, like, their, like, mid 30s or even early 30s nowadays, like, they're just not
Mm-hmm.
able to keep up with the physical job. Like, people need to understand there's a physical job,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can only take care
exactly.
of yourself if you're working out and you can keep up. Otherwise, people just get
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. They're like, oh, the day is so tiring, I have no energy and all that, and I'm just not able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
keep up.
Yeah, one point I'm gonna add is like people think that workout will drain my all energy levels, as I am attending clinical postings and I'm studying, and it will drain my all energies when I will work out. It's completely opposite actually. When you work out, your concentration levels, your energy levels rise. So like it's very good, you can concentrate,
Yeah.
because physical therapy is like very, I can say, we will get more fatigue in our day-to-day job. It's
Right.
like very exertion
Right.
type.
Right.
Yeah. It will
Exactly. And
increase energy
the
levels.
the very thing you said, Rupak, was the same thing I asked a orthopedic surgeon I did a podcast with here in Ottawa. So he's in his mid
Mm-hmm.
50s, and I think he has better fitness than people 20 years younger to him. And he's a surgeon, and so I asked him the same question. He works out a lot. So I said, what do you tell your patients who come and say that I don't have the energy to, keep up and do exercises? And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said
exactly.
exactly that. He said that you may feel tired initially if you've never worked out, but as you slowly start to work out, things will start to get better and you'll have more energy. And that's what I
Absolutely.
feel. Like the reason I think I can go on for longer is I can easily stand on my feet for 10, 11 hours, right? Um, and I'm just used to like you're lifting people, you're doing your manual therapy things and stuff like that. And I see too many of my colleagues right now. So any students who do listen to this later, I would say like do yourself a favor, start working out right now. For the biggest reason in my mind
Absolutely.
is that you are able to keep up with your own job. Like don't reach a point where
Yeah,
you're like, oh man, I can't keep up with my job, right? And the second thing I
yeah,
feel like the big reason is like when we prescribe exercise, we are advocates for physiotherapy and exercise, right? So in some way we
absolutely.
should be doing it ourselves. Like if you're telling people, like we don't have to look
Yeah.
like perfect, like chiseled out bodybuilders, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, that if we advocate for people to do exercise, we should at least be doing some ourselves. And one more thing
Exactly.
I'll add there, Rupak, like the third thing that I find that has helped me a lot is when you work out, and especially say if you work out with a partner and you give them cues, the cueing is very important. Because I'll tell you one thing that I notice about physiotherapists, especially from India and could be from other places. I don't know a lot from other places, but I know physiotherapists from US, Canada, India. And the big difference in India is that like if you're asking somebody to do a overhead press, right? You'll say hold the dumbbells by the side of your body, keep your shoulders
Mm-hmm.
tight, lift your arm up and stuff like these cues, the words you say are important. But in India, like, and this was me also before I started to, we don't say the cues like that. We are not used to. We say do this, then do this, and then do this.
Do this and yes,
Yeah,
yes.
do this, this,
Just
this. Like
performing
what?
the
Like what
movements
is this?
and
Do this,
yeah,
do that.
do this. Yeah,
Right. You need to be like,
exactly.
and if you start working out now, you can actually say words and cues which honestly didn't come easy to me because I also used to say like do this and then do this and then do
Yeah,
this. Like what is this
yeah,
that you need to say like pull your arm behind your body, try to straighten out your elbow or lift your
yeah.
weight, contract your shoulders,
Or
and
retract
that
your shoulders.
exactly. And that queuing comes really naturally because you'll prescribe this to your patients. So it's much easier if you can say those things. And for all of those people, like I know in India, it's still easier. Like we can communicate in our own language and हम हिंदी में बोल के बोल सकते हैं कि आप ऐसे करो ऐसे करो. But if some of you
Yeah,
and a lot of physiotherapists want to come abroad, like this is how people communicate here. Like you'll encounter like American, Canadian physios, and they have a home field advantage of their language, right? And the patients also they use these cues here, so it's very important. Then as you come abroad and you start seeing other physios, you realize that like do this and do that would not work. You'll have to say pull your
yeah,
shoulders
exactly.
blades back, tuck your chin in, tighten your core. All those cues are really important, and that just
Yeah,
requires practice. So I
it
think
will be
that's
like more professional.
yeah,
It will lead to professionalism.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like
exactly.
people should at least work out 45 minutes. Like, what's the thing? 45 minutes we can remove from our day.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, yeah, 100%. You're on the right path. So keep doing that. Any student I speak to and I tell them, listen, study and, just know that your college life, like some people are happy with their college life. Unfortunately, from what I find, some people are not happy. And I just say college is a very small part of your journey. When I was in college, all I could think was college. I was like, oh my God, college is everything. Once you finish college, you realize it's such a small part of your entire journey that's ahead of you. And so the best way is to have fun in college, but definitely prepare yourself, like, either again, just being good at what you're studying or like definitely working out. So I did
Yeah,
not utilize my
absolutely.
time as well in college, but I learned my lesson. I've been doing that. And my lesson to any physio student who would be listening to this would be, do what you're doing, like start working out now.
Absolutely.
It'll
Yeah.
definitely help.
Like basically we are building skills, right? By working out. We are
Exactly.
building ourselves, like
Yeah.
physically and mentally both.
Yeah.
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 I will give an example. Like for first year students, they don't know what is this, okay, or what is this. Like this is lateral rotation, retraction.
I can't see your hand though.
Oh, like I
So
am
I also
saying
don't
that
know what that
if
is.
Like, if you're a first year student,
Did
I
you
am
do
giving like
this?
one exam. Yeah,
Oh,
this,
external rotation, yeah.
yeah. So first year students don't know like what is this action.
Yeah.
Like this is retraction,
Yeah.
pulling behind,
Yeah.
yeah, then lateral rotation or external rotation,
Yeah.
whatever. Then first year students can learn from exercise, like which muscle is contracting during
100%.
this exercise. Yeah,
100%.
this
Yeah.
is protraction,
Yeah.
this is retraction.
Yeah.
They can assess more posture, like
Yeah.
in detail. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, Rupak, let's jump on to the next part. So I've
Yeah,
asked you a ton of questions, and we've almost completed
it's
so much
okay.
time. But I just like these random these impromptu interactions. But let's talk about the other part now, which we decided, right? So I'd asked you about your physiotherapy like plans and stuff, and you said you wanted to do DPT from the US, right?
US, yeah.
And what was your reasoning behind doing DPT? Why would you want to do DPT?
Okay. So, like I have one friend from Pune. Okay. So she did her BPT. Then she opted for like DPT in USA. I think from Pennsylvania in USA. So she did her DPT from USA. Then now she's working physiotherapist in Maryland. Okay. So like basically she inspired me a lot. She played a major role, I could say. So that's the thing. And I basically I opted for Canada before, but then I went to one academy. I don't remember the name. Like it's a TOEFL IELTS academy something. So they said, why not US? Why are you choosing Canada over US? So they said like, don't go for Canada. Healthcare system is not good. They told me the drawbacks. I don't know that was the purpose for US marketing or not, but yeah, they
And who
told me
was
like
this?
this.
Who told you this?
IELTS and TOEFL, the academy who takes the preparation.
Is this the coaching things like they help
Yeah,
you?
yeah, coaching.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, coaching.
okay.
Yeah.
So to that I would say like those people are not even in physiotherapy. So if you would like my take on like about this, I would tell you that honestly it's a waste of like that's not the right information because they are not giving you the idea in terms of a physiotherapist so here's the big thing, here's the big thing that I tell you and anybody who wants to hear about like what are the advantages and disadvantages of going in the US. But even before US, let's talk about DPT. So doctor of physical therapy program is an entry level program. That's what they call it in US. They call it entry level, which basically means
Entry level.
bachelor level, right? So
Oh.
what is
So it's like,
DPT?
yeah, sorry to interrupt, but it's like similar to BPT in India because it's an entry level course.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So, so the difference is in India, after 12th standard, we can just enter physiotherapy and then we do our 4.5 years and we're done. It does not work like that in
yeah.
US and Canada. In US, you first have to go through undergraduation, which basically in which you take up these courses, anatomy, physiology, along with many other courses, which honestly I feel a lot of them are like a waste of time, like literature and stuff like that. This is the 4 years of undergrad here in the US. When they finish
Mm-hmm.
that 4 years of undergrad, so like most of these people are 22, 23 years old already. Those who decide to now go directly to physiotherapy, like they will enter a entry level physiotherapy. That is DPT now. They can't do it right after 12th because you need to finish all these
Oh,
anatomy and other things.
yeah.
And then they enter physiotherapy and they only study physiotherapy subjects for 3 years.
Oh,
And so that's the thing, like what you are studying already in your BPT, DPT may just have a few additional things to that. So the first thing I'd say for anybody who wants to do DPT is just know that you are repeating a lot of the stuff that you've studied in BPT. Only a few things,
oh,
but you are paying a ton of money. You're spending a
ton
lot
of
of
money.
money to
Yeah.
do that. So that's why I don't think it's that great an idea to do DPT because it's the same thing you've done already. But the other thing is for international trained physiotherapists, in the last few years, there's been a course which is called as a TDPT, transitional DPT in US.
Transitional DPT. Yeah,
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 that is somewhat better, right? Like it's not that long, it's only a year. Like they basically
1.6, I guess.
grandfather you in from a
Yeah.
bachelor's course into a DPT. So you can just say I have a TDPT now. But in all honesty, I think a lot of this is like, like it doesn't, semantics and stuff, it doesn't really mean much, because it's not like you're learning a lot unless they make it into a compulsion that you have to have a TDPT. I don't think you really need it, because once you graduate, you can just, now is the best time as ever in physiotherapy, where you can take short courses and other courses, but you don't have to get into a structural college, and college education is expensive, right? I find
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
way this education system now with these online courses and stuff and other physios showing you is a game changer. You don't have to go through thousands of US dollars to go through a degree,
Yeah,
which may
yeah.
have some value. I'm not saying it may not, but like you don't have to. You can gain the same skills in half the value of that, right? So that is my thing on transitional DPT. Unless they don't make it compulsion, like I don't see major
Mm-hmm.
reason why like physiotherapists who already have a PPT should do that. Now, if you
Mm-hmm.
were in 12th standard and you just moved to US, you'll have to go through that route again.
Like it's like pre-med school kind of
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so the undergrad is pre-med school kind of that, and then they do their what we call as MBBS. That's their med school. So
okay.
so that is this is the whole DPT thing. So that's what I would suggest you book. I don't think it's the best idea to do it, but again, it's a personal choice. If for
Like
some
I saw the fee structure. It's like 1 CR in Indian rupees, right?
exactly, yeah, that's a big. It's
DPT.
very expensive. I did my master's in exercise science, and even that was expensive. So I paid roughly about 40,000 US dollars for my entire course, which US dollars. So you can do the conversion and see how expensive that is, right?
It's around 35 lakhs something.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like it's a lot of money, and we need to think about it. Now, the other problem, the big problem, which is not often discussed, is like moving and immigrating to US. I've been there. I don't think is the easiest way, right? Because it's not just about physiotherapy, it's about the way that
Survival.
country is towards like, accepting
Mm-hmm.
people from outside. I'm not saying the other, like nothing else, but like the whole immigration process is a pain. Like you have to do so many things. The biggest thing people should know right now is, say you go to the US, you finish your education, you pass your license
Mm-hmm.
exam, right? Which is also a big hurdle. You pass your license exam, you get a job offer, you also get a job. So you may feel you've done all these right things, you've achieved so much, and you have. It's a great achievement to be able to do all those things, right? There are a lot of hard steps to get there. But the problem is, even
Okay.
after you've done everything in your part, when you are right now on a student visa, right, and you've passed your exams and you've got a job offer, and you start working on what is called as OPT, which is a different topic we can talk about. Is while studying you get some work
Mm-hmm.
permit, but then if you want to, you know, keep your life in, like you want to just work in the US, you need to convert your student visa into a work visa, H1B visa. And here is the biggest problem. The H1B visa is a lottery based visa. So your entire
Oh,
career is based on luck,
oh
right?
my God.
Yeah, so there are basically about 65,000 seats that are available for all over the world, with an additional 20,000 given to people who have studied in the US. So basically, there are total about 85,000 H1B visas that are granted every year. And there are about 200,000, about 2 lakh applicants or something that apply for this. Over 2 lakh. Now I'm not following the numbers, but during my time. So,
Like per year, it's like per year data.
sorry, what is that?
Like per year, this data is for per year.
Exactly. This is per year. So
Okay.
there, exactly, yeah. So only 80,000 people will get selected to get work visa, and the other people will not. And it is based on a computer-based lottery system, right?
Oh,
So after all the hard work you did and hundreds and thousands of dollars that you spent, right, or rupees you've spent in getting your education, you may not get picked up in the lottery. And so what will you do
oh
then?
my God.
Exactly. So it's not just about physiotherapy, it's is the immigration of that country conducive to invite you there? That is the big problem there. And so this happened
Oh,
with me when I was there. I had passed my license exam. Actually, luckily for me was and I studied too, was like my first attempt. I passed it. I got a job. I had offers, but I never got picked up in the lottery. Like I had no luck in the lottery. So I applied for 2 consecutive years, but I didn't. But luckily for me, I was in a course which had STEM extension. Again, that's a different topic, immigration topic. But
Different
I had
topic.
extra time to work on my student visa, which I could because of the course I took. So, but I had 2 attempts to apply, and in both the attempts, I did not get picked up on the lottery. So like
Oh,
I'm passionate about physiotherapy. I can work. I've passed my exam. I have a job, but I don't get picked up in a lottery. So that is the biggest reason why I tell people consider your plans about US is because it is still going on. You're still getting picked up on lottery system. So
oh God.
yeah,
It's
exactly. So I
it's
hope
like
like
business visa, right?
I
H1B visa. I've heard it before. Like it's business visa,
So
H1B
business
visa.
visa, I think you need to invest a lot of money. For a business visa, you need to invest 500,000 US dollars, which means you need to invest 5 lakh US dollars.
US dollar. It's
Yeah, that
too much.
I don't know if like a lot of us have that kind of money, right? So that's definitely not an option. So for most of us, some people may. So that's the thing. That's the thing. And then there are other frustrations. Then like the US healthcare system. And I think like you don't have to get into this right now, but depending on how passionate you are about physiotherapy, like there are many kinds of physios, right? Like some people have a passion and their main goal is like everybody has some passion for sure, but you want to get your patients better. But after you've been in this field for a while, you reach a point where you're like, like I just like I want to do my 9 to 5, get my salary and stuff. For
Mm-hmm.
those people, I feel like US is a good option because it's so fast paced, it's so money based that you're seeing patients so fast, you don't get the satisfaction that people are getting better. Like you may feel that you can do more with the patient, you can teach them more, you can help them, but you just don't have time because it's all money, money. The
Oh,
more patients you see, the more money you
okay.
make. So your
Mm-hmm.
patients never get better. And I don't mean never, but most often they don't get better because there's not enough time or the insurance will cut you off and stuff. So that is another thing. Like my own experience of working in the US was I felt like since it was healthcare was more like wealth care, like, for
Oh,
yeah, it was very money driven.
money. Okay.
And while there's nothing wrong with money, like I like money too, but like when it comes to healthcare, there should be a fine balance that,
Healthcare.
it's not like see 100
Yeah.
patients a day, but I do nothing with them, just do ultrasound on everyone. Nobody's going to get better, right? That kind of stuff.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah. So that is the big problem in my mind with US. Number one, you do your DPT, you're doing the same thing as your BPT. Then if you clear all your hurdles of US, you still have to go through the dreaded
H1B visa.
lottery process. And if you do it,
Yeah.
my experience of healthcare in the US was not the best. Now, I'm not saying like there are some places that don't do good things, but for the majority, like I thought, oh, I'm going to US, the number one country in the world, and they'll have everything sorted. That's not true. Like they have really bad physiotherapy clinics, as bad or even worse than India, like where they do nothing. India has some very good clinics where they are much better than the US. And then they have that money concept, all the time. So
Money. Yeah. Yeah.
if your satisfaction from work comes from just doing your 9 to 5 and being happy with that, perfect. But if you feel like no, I need to make a difference in people's lives also, I need to feel कि मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ, like I'm helping someone, किसी को कुछ मेरे काम से
Absolutely.
फायदा हो
Yeah.
रहा है, then
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit challenging. So that is that. Now on the flip side, Canada, the biggest advantage that you have in Canada is that you have, or we don't have this immigration issue to worry about. It is a big, big factor.
Oh.
So there is no lottery system. You can appear for the Canadian physiotherapy examination now, I believe, and I'm not exactly sure, but you can research this. But I think you can now give your Canadian license exam from India also. Like again, don't hold me to that, but that's the best thing you could do. If you can appear for your exam right from India, that's great. If not, you can come prepare for it, come here, give the exam.
Like PCE is the exam, right? For Canada.
Exactly.
PCE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing with PCE is that it's like in US there's one component, there's theory only. There's 250 MCQ based. I gave it in 2012, so it's been a while, but it was 250 questions MCQ based. But in Canada, there is 200 multiple choice questions for the theory, but there's also a practical exam. So it's slightly more harder to get licensed in Canada than the US. There are two exams to pass. The second one is the practical. But what you don't have to worry about is immigration, right? There's no lottery system. Like you, if your lottery is done, you don't have to go back. Also,
Okay.
you could decide to do a course, like say if you just want to come move to Canada and you don't have enough say experience yet, or you don't have like enough points to just come there, like the whole through the point system to come, you can also enroll in a college and you can do certain healthcare courses. Like since you are into fitness, you could do some healthcare courses here. There are some colleges and they're influencers, and you can like Nihama Physio, she can guide you through what courses you can take.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard. Yeah.
yeah. And so you can do a 1 year course there, and it's way less expensive than studying in the US. In this time, you can clear your exams and you can start practicing as a physiotherapist. And God forbid, if you don't clear the exams, there's no rush to send you back. Like in the US, they're like, okay, your time is up, you got to go back, right? And then you lose all your money. There's no rush like that. You can be as a student, you can work outside as a student, you know. And the other biggest advantage I find about Canada is that while it's not as money driven, the healthcare system is not as money driven. It's not as capitalistic. हर चीज पैसे के ऊपर नहीं है. Like people
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
care about, like it's a little better than the US, that you try to get.
Patient care is more driven into like Canada.
Sorry, what is patient care?
Patient care,
Yeah.
yeah, in
I think
Canada.
so. I think so for sure. It's less pressure, and insurance, like because everything is physiotherapy is insurance covered in US and Canada both. They're both covered by insurance. So the rules in for insurance companies in Canada are much more lenient. In the US, they give us a hard time. So these are the many advantages that you have of working in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's why nowadays, now that I've worked in both and people ask me, I tell them that like between the two, I think it's a much easier option, at least in my mind, is to move to Canada than to the US. The only caveat is if you move to the US, I mean, the only option is if you move to the US and say you marry like somebody who's an American, so you can skip the entire. I mean, it's such a weird thing to say, but if you say you
yeah,
were in
actually.
college or you found your partner or your girlfriend who you later married who is an American, then you don't have to go through the lottery system. Then you are set, but you still have those other issues. But apart from that, in Canada, there's no such problem. So the country is more welcoming to people from outside than the US.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's pretty cool. I didn't knew that actually.
Yeah,
The
and the thing is, I can't
points which you
explain
said.
this in like, it takes me 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes,
it's
15 minutes to
like
say these things. I can't say
it's
it on
really
a
vast topic. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is one thing. Now the third thing is that I always tell some people, because some people are asking me a question like, is you like somebody asked me the other day, is it better to work in Canada or UK? So number one, I don't know about UK, or somebody will ask me US or UK or India or this. The thing is, it all depends. Like there's no straight answer to that. This is what I'll say. I moved out of India in 2011. And so I am now up to my 13th year now. This is my 13th year, 12th, 13th year of living abroad, right? My
Oh,
story is a bit unique because I lived in US for 7 years. Now I've been living in Canada roughly for the same amount, 6 years. And I feel it took me about a decade of first, working there, but then removing to a new country. So when I went to new country, I started from scratch again, from ground level. So I feel like my last 10 years, while I've done, like I've worked, I've got a lot of experience. I've always started from ground again and, started working my way up. But if you're working in India, right, and you feel like, do I need to go abroad? Is this an option? Like, should I be thinking of it? There are clear advantages. The salaries are better, the overall quality of right now in certain aspects, and this is very important. Quality of life
yeah.
in certain aspects are better, not in every aspect. There are
Yeah,
certain
absolutely.
ways in which
I
quality of
agree.
life in India is better, and I'll go over
Hmm.
that right now. What those are, but you know, the salary is better, but there are two options. You can go through, say, my story, and some people who do not, like it took me 10, like in 2019, I got my Canadian license again, right? So I
Oh,
started working
2019.
in Canada in 2019, even though I've graduated since 2010. I have been working in the US too, but so many years go into these kind of struggles, right? So now the question that everybody who asks me this is, should I move here or there, is, do you want to spend couple of years in this uncertainty and then get a good salary and work there, or do you want to continuously work and start building your career in India? Like I can imagine if you started or I started and I worked for 10 years in India, I would somewhat be established in India too. So all my efforts would go in that one direction only, right? Like I graduated, I
Exactly.
started my practice, 10 years in the field. I know physiotherapists who are not like, they're doing decent also, right, after 10 years of practice. So that's the thing. For some of my friends who already worked in India for 10 years, they had that experience, they're established. I'm starting by first going to America, then studying there, then working there,
Oh,
then
it's
moving
like,
to Canada, then
yeah,
starting all over again.
hmm,
And so like I feel like I've wasted, not wasted, it was necessary, but I've lost years just going through this, immigration process.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
And on top of that, I would also say the last point I would talk about this is like quality of life. People feel like, once you come here, everything is sorted and everything is good. It's not true. Like that is one
Yeah,
big thing.
absolutely.
Yeah. There's one big thing I would tell people is, it's not true. Here are the other aspects apart from physiotherapy, which you should consider before moving abroad, right? Number one, if there is a little bit of social isolation living in North America. Little bit, right?
Mhm.
It's really dependent on you how good you are in making your social circles. But honestly, in India, there's way more interaction. You can meet friends, you can, go outside, you see people here. There are long winter months, if you move at a certain age after college, you don't make friends right away. After a certain age,
Exactly.
ऐसे ही friends नहीं बन जाते. You have your friends, and then after that, people are busy. So people lead very busy lives here. Like you go to work, you come back. कोई help करने के लिए, there's no help here. Like in India,
Like it's about
you can
USA or
order, you
Canada?
can have somebody come and work or do some things for you, or
Uh,
ऐसे कुछ घर में domestic help होती है. There's no such thing. You need to do everything. You need to work. You need to make your own food. You need to clean your own house. You need to clean your own dishes. You need to do your own groceries. You need to do everything. So while people may think, oh, this guy has a nice house and a car, but like that nice house has to be maintained. You have to do your own lawn. You have to paint your own
exactly.
house. Things like that. So there's not a lot of free time here. Like there's a lot of free time. I feel you can, not a lot, but you can have free time in India, but you can't have as much free time here. Plus, you don't have a lot of friends. That's a big thing for a person like me who's very social, right? I like to see people. Winter months, it's dark. You don't. So a lot of people don't think about these things because initially it's all about career, money, and all those things. But when you come here, like, oh
Exactly.
man, I don't know anyone here. What do I do? It can get a bit sad and depressing too sometimes. So there are these, and there's no free time. There's no free time. I'm not saying everybody's sad and depressed. There are amazing times too. But there's this thing that people don't consider. They think like as soon as I get there, like I'm made. But that's not the case. I think the struggle is a lot here, and in struggle in India in ways there are other struggles. Like you in India, I think like you have to go to work, you establish yourself. But after that, like say, if you had, for example, it's not uncommon to hear like people have maids, right, in India. So somebody can come and at least do some cooking for you. So if you're working 10 hours, at least your food is
It's more
ready,
friendly. Yeah,
or
yeah,
your house is clean. Like,
yeah.
no, here you have to do your 10 hours, then you have to come and do these things on top. So, in that sense, quality of life in certain aspects is better here because you have like bigger house, bigger car, bigger salary, but there is no time. Every time is go, 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 work, work, work. And in
Exactly.
India, there is
Yeah,
more
yeah.
time. Like, I can see people in India, in India, people go out. I'm so surprised that they go out on weekdays also to for dinners, bars, and drinks, and meeting
Yeah,
friends and coffees. And that
exactly.
is not a concept
Hmm.
here in America. If you ask somebody,
No.
sorry, in North America, Canada, say, do you want to go for a coffee on a Wednesday evening? They'll be like, are you crazy? I have like 20,000 things to do.
Oh, so the hours are set according to weeks.
So sorry, what do you mean?
Hours, like you have to complete this hours into this week. The goals are set by like companies. I've
No, the
heard
hours is
this.
like you can do a 40-hour job, but like after your 40 years, and it's up to you, you can do more hours. But my point is when you finish that job, then you have the other job, like, that you go
Oh,
home and you take care of everything. There's no help, is what I'm trying to say. You got to do everything. So when you have to do everything at home, तुम्हारे घर में grocery नहीं है, you have to go get grocery after a long day. then you have to prepare your own food. So that's when, do you think there's time to go and socialize and hang out? So that is why there is no time. People have no time. It's यहाँ पे everything is go structured. Like I have to go to the gym, then I have to make my food, then I have to prepare for. So you only meet on weekends and stuff like that. So that's what I meant by there is a certain aspect of social isolation and stuff. So which people don't think about it all the time. So a lot of times people actually come to Canada and they don't like the life here and they actually go back to India. It's not very often, but it's not unheard of. I know people who've come here and they've hated the life here and they said, I'm going back. So,
Like it's really difficult to pay the loan back when we come to India.
that is if you did your education. Like some people don't do the education, they come through like the direct license exam, right? They pass that and they come, so you don't have a loan. But yeah, if you study, you better at least work here and clear that loan. If you want to go to India, better clear the loan and go. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So that would be my overall advice. I would say between US and Canada, I think Canada is slightly superior as a choice right now because it's just easier than the US. And overall, while salaries are better and overall quality of life in certain aspects, like material aspects, is better. But there are many aspects where India is also better, like healthcare, in the sense that you access to doctors, social life, favorable weather, stuff like that. And initially those are not as high a priority, but when people live here, then they realize that. So anyways, that's something to consider when you decide where you want.
Yeah, exactly. Like it depends, like country to country. There are some advantages, disadvantages of countries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Does that answer some of the questions that you had asked me to before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Super. Nice, man. So I had a great time chatting with you. Do you have any other questions? Anything you'd want to know?
Uh, Let me check. Like PC is an entrance exam for Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, or licensing.
It's same. It's the same.
Entrance.
Entrance exam, licensing is the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have to pass this exam to be able to practice.
Like there is no masters I have heard in States or like Canada.
So in Canada, there is
Masters.
masters, but that
Oh,
is also the equivalent. So DPT of US is equal to MPT, Masters of Physiotherapy of Canada, which is equal to DPT of India. It's the same. The three are
India.
same.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just
So
called
like
different.
yeah, like masters of kinesiology is different and exercise therapy is different.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are different professions. And if you do them here, you become an exercise physiologist, though I would say the salaries and work scope for physio is better than exercise physiologist and kinesiologist because we are directly into healthcare and patient care. Those are not exactly into that. But the courses, like in Canada, entry level course is called as a MPT. In US, it's called DPT. In India, it's called PPT. It's the same thing.
It's the same.
Yeah,
So we are getting the same knowledge back.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many, like there are so many factors to consider, like which country to opt. Some dark
Exactly.
realities as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There are many things you have to consider. It's just not one. So hopefully through this interaction, I've probably answered some of those questions in a long format, so you guys can understand. For even all the people who are listening to me, so your questions are not as like these are the same questions people ask me, but the question is like which is better, US or Canada? Now how do I answer that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. How
I don't know
to
your
like differentiate
personality,
between
I
them.
don't know your background,
Yeah,
so I cannot answer that. So, but these are the things you have to consider and see, put it in your own context and see which works for you.
exactly.
Super. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a great time chatting with you, Rupak. We'll keep in touch, right? Did I generally
Sure,
answer all your
sure.
questions there?
Yeah, yeah. You have answered. Absolutely.
Super.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. Keep
Like
doing what you do.
basically, there are so many questions, but the thing is factors. Like we don't know factors and considerations, like what to do and what to not. It
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I plan to do more of these sessions with other students as well. So when I do them, hopefully they'll ask me these questions too. So I'll keep answering these. Like there's a few other students who keep asking me these questions too. So hopefully I'll try my best to cover this in a long format so people can understand. Like there are many
Mm-hmm.
options, many factors to consider before moving.
Mm-hmm. I have one last question. What books should we more focus on for PC exam of Canada and NPT exam for US? Like which
So,
books?
so they both have the same. They follow the American book O'Sullivan, not R. Sullivan,
Sullivan.
a different one,
Oh,
for the exam, which is based on MCQs and multiple choice questions. So you can easily get it. It's called as NPT Guide O'Sullivan. That's the main one. Then there are other books you can get too, but O'Sullivan would be the main book.
it's referred by Therapy Ed something. Therapy Ed.
I think so, something like that. Yeah. I don't remember
Yeah.
it now because I haven't done it for a while. But yeah, if you just put NPTE O'Sullivan, that is the book everybody refers to.
Oh,
I think it's
so
therapy.
there is a major difference between R O Sullivan and NPT Sullivan.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the O'Sullivan that we have is more for like it has everything, but it doesn't train you for MCQs. That is everything is condensed in that book. Like that one
oh,
book
okay.
covers all ortho, neuro, cardiorespy, and pediatrics and research and whatever topics are there, geriatrics, they're all covered. And then they are MCQ based questions. So it's a condensed version that is meant only for the exam. It's not the book that
Oh,
the our book is super thick. That's different. But this is only for the exam.
oh. And what about Kisner and Maggie? Because these three books are the main focus in bachelor's,
Yeah, I
in
mean, you
third
can
and final
study
year.
them for sure. The more you study, the better prepared you are. But like for example, I referred them sometimes, but I kind of did most of my studying from Sullivan, which covers everything. Then there are certain topics you'll have to go back and look into those. Refer
Okay.
them. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.